Hi there, it's Suzanne here today, and I wanted to share how to assemble the new Quietfire spinning easel cards. Cute, huh? Let's get started. Okay, this is the card base, and this is also part of the card base, and we're going to have to put them together. This is a backing panel so that you won't see where the thread's attached. And then we have a couple of accent panels. So we don't need those right now, and just like we don't need that backing panel. So I'm going to speed up the video a bit, and we're going to fold this panel in half and use bone folder. And then there's a tab on this piece, and we need to attach it like that. Let's put the flap underneath so you can't see the join so well. So double-sided tape, and I'm just going to fold back that little bit of extra tape and get this set up nicely so that we can put it together. And there's basically the card base. And you can use the bone folder to just fold those down a bit better. And then I'm just using glue dots here because I just wanted to quickly assemble to show you how this goes. And if you want to use a tape runner, that's great. So center that, and there's a little bit of a rim there that you want to make sure is centered. And that's starting to look nice, and this goes on the bottom, and it has no hole in it because it's not featuring anything. And I'm going to pop that again centered. Oh, that's starting to look good. Now this is the sentiment, and again I'm just using glue dots to pop this together. And there we have the ho ho ho, and it's going to go there. But what makes it a better stopper is if you add some of these 3D foam squares from scrapbook adhesives and pop those on the back. Now we're just going to leave those as they are because we don't need that yet. And then we have Santa. So we're going to spread out all the Santa bits so we can seed them. And we're going to use the black as a base and build up on that. And again, I'm using glue dots because I love them. And you just need to line those things up. Now these two pieces on the left, these are going to go back to back. So you need to be a bit careful about lining things up. And unfortunately, I was a bit cavalier. And this is the one that goes on the front, but we're going to assemble it at the same time anyway, just so we have them all done and we know if there's extra pieces left over. And this is the face coloring, and you can make that face coloring any color you want. And we're going to repeat, and you see that face is a little bit different. So when he spins, he's going to crinkle his eyes. And this is the front, the Santa that goes on the front. He's a much more interesting Santa when he has multiple layers. Okay, so this is the beard and the trim on his hat. And that just pops on there. And again, glue dots, but you can use whatever you're comfortable with. Now the next thing is the mustache. So we're going to put that on him there. And then we've got the pom-pom for his hat. And what's nice is to maybe raise that up and give it some dimension. So I'm adding half of one of those 3D foam squares. And then this is his nose. Don't forget his nose. Oh, you're so cute, Santa. So let's do that. Same thing with the other two Santas. And don't forget the Santa for the front. You don't have to add the nose if you don't want to, just like you don't have to make the pom-pom dimensional. Oh, don't forget that nose. Oh yeah, and then we've got eyebrows. Of course, they don't make a glue dot small enough for the eyebrows. So I'm cutting a little piece of release paper, and then I'm using some white glue. This is Tombow Mono in case you're interested. And I just smear a little bit on the back and use my tweezers. Don't get too much glue on it. You don't want it oozing out all over Santa's face. That might be considered naughty. And then pop his eyebrows on. Oh, such a handsome fellow. And there we go. Oh, no, one more. Make sure you get all Santa's eyebrows, or he's going to look pretty funny. Okay, let's get that out of the way because we don't want it sticking to any Santa bits. Okay, now we are going to do the spinning part. So here we've got a piece of thread, make it at least 4.5 inches long. And there we have it. These are going to go back to back. So what we're going to do is use a strip of really strong tape. And we're going to just burnish that down so it's well stuck to the back of the Santa. And then we're going to take off the release paper and center the thread right down the middle of that piece of tape. And I just used white sewing thread. And you can use whatever thread is most appropriate, perhaps the same color as the backing of the card. And then I'm going to take another piece of double-sided tape and rub that down so that's really good and secured. And remove the release tape. And I'm going to add a few more glue dots around the outside edge. There we go. I just did 4 more. And then put the other Santa right on top, making sure that all the edges are lined up and don't get stuck to the glue dot. There we go. Push it around. You're not going to have much open time because it's dry glue, but there you go. Okay, we got Santa ready to go. He's on his spinner. Okay, let's grab the card front. Now we want to make sure Santa spins the right way up. He's not an Australian Santa. So we're going to flip that over and just make sure he's facing the right direction. Now this is a 4.5-inch wide card base, so we're going to make a little mark at 2.25 inches because that's how we're going to line up our thread. So we're just going to leave him there so he doesn't get turned around. And then we're going to do the same thing we did to the back side of the Santa face, and we're going to put down a piece of tape, a couple of pieces of tape, top and bottom. Remove the release paper. And then we're going to line up the thread on those little marks. You can see those right through the tape. There we go. And then again, we're going to put another piece over the top just for extra security. And rub that down. Okay, now it's time for this cover piece. And that's where that's going to go. So we're going to remove the release tape, and then we're going to take our glue dots, and I'm just going to add some at the corners. And again, you can use a tape runner if you want to. And then put it right over top. And the hole is going to be almost exactly the same size. Just make sure you have it straight. And then trim off the extra piece of thread. And give it a little rub down. And then turn it over. And oh my goodness, Santa spins. How cool is that? But we're not done yet. We've got to put on the sentiment. Now the trick with the sentiment is don't push it too far back, because if you push it too far, Santa will get stuck, as will any of the spinners. So you need to check that. And you can sort of make a mental note. You can mark it with a pencil if you want. And then take off the release tape on the back of the 3D foam squares. And oh my goodness, look. There we have him. Almost done. There's just the extra Santa that we want to put on the front. So again, me and my glue dots. You might want to use a more secure method than that. And there he is. How cute. So you're going to wind them up, wind, 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 and then you're going to open him up, and there he goes. Now, really, how fun is that? Anybody would love to get that card. So there it is, how you put together the spinning easel cards, and I have a whole variety of them. There's quite a few Christmas ones. They were done for Christmas in July. That's kind of where it started, but there's other ones too. So have fun making your spinning easel cards. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.